The dream of the master race. The history books they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the lion drums do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell, come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with this chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell, mate. From the breed and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2, like the Zulus they had knives, bows and arrows. Of how brave you face one with...
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How are we all? I'm very well, I thank you for asking. Apologies for the lateness. I am a feckless loser, but I've never pretended not to be, so if you're still here, that's on you, okay? You are enablers of this behaviour. Are you proud of yourselves? Get the fuck out. We've doubled up on the Zoran tonight. We've got bodega cats. We've got the fucking flag. Let's do this! Socialists winning elections. It's fucking mental. Let's go! W's in chat.
Epic dub.
Alicia, not a genocidal fascist, Kev. This is true. It's an extraordinarily low bar to clear, but unfortunately it is a bar that, whilst I have cleared rather comfortably, a lot of society fails miserably to even try and clear. Cunts! Kev is the next Ayatollah. Well, that could be an issue. I mean, I am from Birmingham, and as we know, we are 100% Muslim. Fact, it was on Fox News. It's got news in the title, so, you know. But my penchant for Guinness and bacon might be a bit of an issue in Tehran, I feel. You know. Yeah. Did you watch Zack smash it on the last leg again? I did indeed, with his green menacings and such. Indeed. Anyway, yes, the Islamo-Communist People's Republic of Birminghamistan. Was that racist? It felt racist.
Stop it. Get some help.
It did feel. But Boy Meets Minnie, who is our official representative of all of Asia, you know, that tiny little place with one type of people in it called Asia, and they just followed, they just subscribed, so clearly not racist. Tick. Just saying.
Stop it. Get some help.
And I'm going to say Bella is also Asian because that also fits the theme, so 2 Asians have said I'm cool. It's all good. There aren't that many more of them, are there? There's only like 10 or something. It'd be fine. It'd be fine. Boy Meets Minnie says, spent 2 weeks in India and I'm back even more hateful of that dwindling island empire of crumpets and mediocre cricketers. That is it's so strange that a nation of nearly 2 billion people can't produce a decent cricket team. Like, it's okay for England, because even when we steal the rest of the world's good cricketers, like, we're still shit, but we've got 70 million people. They've got nearly 2 billion! How are you this shite? The fuck is... What? New Zealand have got an excuse. England have got an excuse. England have got nothing but fucking excuses, to be fair. But, you know. Anyway, thank you for resubscribing for 35 months. Mental. Yet more of the wealth of Asia being extracted into the home country. You know, oh, it's only a £5. It's not the diamonds under Johannesburg or anything, but you know. And thank you, Ella Bella, with 12 months. You've been with me a year. Mental. Honestly, you should be out there doing anything other than this. I think. Really, you think about it. Thank you, Michael, as well, with Prime before we even got going. 4 months, much love. Also, I don't usually do this, but I am going to fangirl ever so slightly. Thank you, Gareth Dennis. for following. Welcome to the Kevolution. You're probably not even watching, I don't know. But thank you. I like your work. In a slightly... I'll be honest with you. In a slightly gay way.
Gay is in, gay is hot. I want some gay, gay it's gonna be.
I'm not remotely uncomfortable with that in any way whatsoever. As a bisexualist, half of me is absolutely fine with that. I am gay for trains, absolutely. Honestly, there's nothing quite as awesome, right? I mean, A, I'm gay for the nationalisation of our entire infrastructure. Okay? Just saying. And secondly, an underutilised cottaging situation. The train toilet, I feel. Like, don't get me wrong, don't stay in there all the time. People want to go for a piss and or shit. And, of course, it's disgusting. Literally an abysmal experience. But at least it's enclosed and you can do it at, like, 32 miles an hour.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yes. Hello there, first-time chatter. Starmer is sending Navy to support strikes in Iran. Oh, yeah, look, Starmer is literally America's little cocksock. So, like, yeah, of course we're sending fucking boats to bomb the shit out of Iran for some reason, you know? Thank you to whatever noises happened. What noise happened there? I don't even fucking know. Thank you, Michael, for gifting a membership on YouTube. Yes, I'll do my shilling up top, and then we can get into the actual show. I was going to take a look at Keir Starmer's speech about this, but basically the only takeaway from it is, but this is about the war with Iran and all this shit, right? The only takeaway is that the Prime Minister is a fucking lunatic, I think. He literally called on Iran to get back around the negotiating table, a place it had not left, America had left, and started bombing. But Iran need to get back around the table. Is he talking about a different table? Are there a series of tables? Is this speed dating? What's going on here? Anyway. So there's no point watching that, basically. So we're just going to do what we were always going to do, which was award-winning journalism with Laura Koonsberg. Yeah. But minus no Justice of the MTGs today, because she is on holiday, or as the Americans say, vacation. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, gotta get away. That is a fucking pop bop. I'm just telling you. Now you know what it feels like to be my, unfortunately now late cat Rory, who put up with me because I fed him, but was also not massively happy at the fact that I would sing cheesy pop songs at him in quite a loud way from reasonably close distance. He was not a fan of that at all. But again, he put up with me, so, you know. Is Kev getting us food? No. In some respects, you're getting me food. Which you can do, what a segue, which you can do in the form of bits and subs and memberships and subscriptions and fucking super chats, and I've got a Patreon and a PayPal, and you can hit the follow button and you can finger a horse. You shouldn't do that, but you probably can. But it does kick backwards, so be prepared, you know. You can subscribe on the YouTubes as well. I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok and Threads. I've got all of those things. You know. You already fucking know. I'm on all of the platforms. And I'm fucking awesome. No, I'm not. Anyway.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Every time Helena goes on holiday, some large world event seems to happen.
True. Are you suggesting she is the George Soros of this situation? She doesn't go on holiday so much as she goes to do her evil chicanery. Interesting. I gave 2 memberships. Well, thank you very much, Jean or Jean, whichever one you are. I don't know. But thank you. Oh, yes, Pidge, by the way. Right, so a mini Pidge there in chat, a long-time viewer and a very awesome person, acolyte, whatever. Anyway, is in order to get around the adverts on YouTube thing, which has been plaguing my channel for quite some time, I have. They sent me a link. They've got like a family plan for the YouTube Premium thing, and they had an open slot. So they were like, "Oh, you can have the thing for free," and I was like, "Fucking dope." Anyway, tried to sign into my email account for the first time in about 2 weeks because I don't check my emails. I barely check myself for like cancerous lumps. I'm not checking my fucking emails. Yeah, and it said we noticed some unusual activity. So we've sent a recovery email to your recovery email account, which I then tried to sign in to, right? Only for it to tell me that because I hadn't signed in...
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Not right now. Because I hadn't signed into it for so long, it sent a recovery email to my recovery account, which was the original account! So I now have an email in each of the two accounts telling me what the fucking code is that I need to unlock the other account. So I think I'm just going to have to burn everything in the world in retaliation. So basically, I haven't taken up that offer yet because I'm literally incapable of like basic functioning in a modern world. If I can't use a paper and a pen for it, I'm basically fucking useless.
It stimulates the part of the brain called Shatner's bassoon.
No, there was no option to send anything to a phone or any other thing. I couldn't change the email to which it was going to send the email. So I'm literally, I don't know how to get around this Gordian knot of electronic madness. Am I not signed in on my phone? No, I don't find... Look, okay. The internet and technology more broadly fucking winds me up. Right? So when I switch off from this, I don't go on it. I'm not fucking interested. I will occasionally check like Twitter DMs in case like one of my collaborator people here on the internet have like contacted me about, oh, do you want to be on the show or something, right? Or occasionally, look, what's the other one that I occasionally use? Discord, right? I'll go on the Discord and check if people have messaged me or whatever, and that's it. I'm not. Like, it's a fucking cancerous tumour on humanity that I want no part of. So I just don't involve myself. So, like, I don't... Yeah, I am a Luddite in some respects, in both the original and the non-original sense. In the original cool sense, in that I don't think technology should be putting people out of work, and I'm absolutely okay with direct action against companies that engage in that kind of nefarious, evil bullshit. But secondly, I also don't particularly like technology. It scares me. Okay? Fact. Anyway, a noise happened. Thank you to Nirian, possibly. Apologies, with the message about Helena being George Soros. I've interpreted the words a little bit, but that was the basic gist, I think. And thank you, Freddie Osborne, for membership on the YouTubes. Kev uses messenger boys to run scrolls for communication. No. Carrier pigeons. Look, all of your new modern fancy technology, instant communication across galaxies or whatever, rubbish. The fucking carrier pigeon was a perfected piece of technology. The carrier pigeon was a solved problem. You didn't need to do any of this shit. All right? Or carrier rats in Birmingham, because they are massive. That's still ongoing. Absolutely no end in sight to that fucking situation. Bin strikes and more precisely the council being a bunch of fucking cunts. Ah well. Right. Okie doke. Yeah, I've done my bit. We're half an hour later than I'd planned or whatever, but here we go. Oh, for fucking kill me. Literally put a fucking knife in my Minecraft account. There we go. Fucking absolute cunts. I hate everyone. Award-winning journalism with this wanker.
Iran's Ayatollah is dead. The end of his 36 years of iron rule. On the streets of Iran, cheers, relief and disbelief. But others are mourning the leader killed by American and Israeli strikes.
This is a false dichotomy as well, by the way. This framing of like, some people are super happy, yay, and some people are really sad and mourning, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, most people just, like, they're not necessarily massively pro or against it, they just don't want to be bombed. They're pissed off and scared, like frightened beyond belief about the bombing. About the you know, they're being bombed. Now, as we speak, they've literally fucking bombs. You're sick, man. Am I? What am I? What? Why? What did I say that was so terrible? Sorry, did I not take the NATO-approved line on this? My bad.
In grief, what's left of the regime vows to fight back. After the United...
What? Hang on, what do you mean what's left of the regime? You killed one dude. These people have such pathetically simplistic understandings of every other place. I'm loath to necessarily bring him up because he is a lib, but John Green, the author, came up with a fantastic way of looking at the world, I think anyway, when he said, always imagine other people as complexly as you know yourself to be. So you know yourself as a complex, like, multifaceted, messed up, crazy a person with like weird beliefs and different likes and dislikes and foibles and skills and weaknesses and so on and so forth. And one of the traps that people fall into is not imagining that other people are that way as well, because you don't know about all of their deep dark secrets and corners and weird little things, because they present a public facing image of themselves, right? But the other person is just like that in their own weird, formation and all the rest of it. Configuration was the word I was trying to look for there. I am erudite at times, I promise. Anyway, so each person is individually, distinct and different, but we're all a bit fucked up and mental and complex and all the rest of it. And don't pretend or don't get fooled into thinking other people are the simplistic, one size fits all, black and white fucking, people, because they're not. Obviously, they're not. And the same is true, I think, on a societal level. That we in the West know our societies to be complex and multi-layered and multifaceted, with competing interests and weird social groupings and social pressure groups and all the rest of it. And so taking out one person from our society must, if it's a big, important, powerful, well-known person, can have an impact, isn't going to bring that society come crashing down, and it's not going to happen, is it? But we allow ourselves this absurd, frankly, Orientalist or Africanist or whatever view of the world, where we think that other societies are very simplistic. And that somehow if you take out the head of the Hydra, they'll just collapse. We literally saw it in Venezuela not that long ago, right? They fucking arrested the illegally went in and fucking arrested the president of Venezuela and his wife for some reason. And they were like, well, we'll probably be fine then. We'll probably be fine. It'll just crumble and we'll get all of the oil. And then it didn't happen. Because their society is complex as well, with all of those same competing interests and the fucking multifaceted nature. It's ridiculous to imagine that you can just take out one person, and she's literally doing this shit now. Oh, what remains of the ruling class? What do you mean? What remains of it? You've killed one fucking man. What, you think Iran is going to crumble into the dust of history? Persia will be no more because you've killed one fucking dude. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you think these people are? This is one of the great fucking countries of Earth, right? It's like a fucking 100 million people. It's got various, again, competing financial vested interests and fucking political power structures and religious power structures. You think taking out one cunt's going to actually fucking destroy it? Are you mental? Are you fucking broken? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is award-winning journalism. Imagine what the shit journalism's like. It's just a man sat in a corner dribbling, I think.
United States and Israel's attacks killed not just the supreme leader, but hundreds of Iranians. Yesterday, a wave of attacks spread across Iran from the sky. Now it's vowing more retaliation after hitting back right across the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you only showing the bit in the sky there? Why are you not showing Tel Aviv absolutely eviscerated? Why are you not showing fucking... Oh, so no, Tel Aviv, Jaffa, in flames? That's an interesting way of viewing it.
In Israel, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, where British tourists have been caught...
Oh, Dubai matters because there are British people. Honestly, the cancer that is imperialism needs to just fuck off forever and ever and ever. Not only is it bad just on a basic level, of course, internationally and legally and all the rest of it, but like there's a mindset to it where literally all that matters is, oh, well, there are British people. I don't give a fuck.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
I'm sorry,
shit.
if you went to fucking...
Apparently, Ahmadinejad was DL-NAFO. R.I.P. Shorty.
We'll get to that in a second. There's a lot to unpack in that little sentence. Anyway, the fact that there are British people there, I couldn't give two fucks. I'm sorry, if you live in Dubai, get wrecked. Yeah, oh, fucking Oakshott and Tice, yeah, fuck them. Let them get wrecked then. I'm sorry, you didn't want to pay tax in Britain. Enjoy getting bombed in Dubai. Have at it. Enjoy your tax-free evisceration at the hands of the fucking Iranian state. Bravo. Did your marginal top rate of tax increase, was it really worth it? Not only should you not allowed to be fucking work here, you shouldn't be allowed to scurry back here when things get a little bit testy. No, you left. Enjoy. Have at it. Enjoy. See how the fucking nation of Dubai looks after you. You pricks.
Up in the attacks and planes grounded right across the region. British planes were in the sky yesterday too.
Yes, Chad Polanski. Hype. I hope he just flexes. I hope he just fucking flexes.
Defence Secretary John Healey is with us live, alongside Dame Priti Patel, the Shadow Foreign Secretary, and
who again was sacked from the government for having clandestine meetings without notifying the British government with the State of Israel. Which, I mean, really, is espionage. She was literally a fucking spy for Israel. But we should take her very seriously on this topic. I'm sure she has a very neutral opinion on it all.
the Green Party leader, Zach Polanski. We can't report independently from Iran, but as we meet this morning, we will hear from inside the country. And we're live with Clive Myrie in Tel Aviv. And our team at the desk for the next hour this week, the Iranian journalist Rana Rahimpour, foreign policy expert Bronwyn Maddox from Chatham House, and Alan Johnson, the
Fucking Alan Johnson. What a cunt.
former Labour cabinet minister.
Alan Johnson was on Masked Singer. Is that true? I don't watch it, so I don't fucking know. Hang on. Was he? What a loser. Masked Singer. Oh my god, okay. Get ready for an advert, probably, because I'm going to have to unpause the fucking ad block in order to get anything to work.
This is about loneliness.
This is about sucking my dick. Shut the fuck up, YouTube. God almighty, I fucking hate the world.
Pharaoh.
Who's behind the mask? Take it up, 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 take it up,
No way. There's no way any of these fuckers knew who he was, right? I just want to see the singing. Does he do singing? Did he do singing? I don't give a fuck about him being revealed. Sing for me, you cunt. Oh, God almighty.
All the bars are men by the pot. They pop the pot like the party games. When they get too cold.
What the fuck is... That's him singing. Okay.
All the bars are men by the Nile. They got the money on a bed. With the mood too good.
Not a singer.
Burn.
With the hookup pipe say.
Who is it?
Walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah, no, it's true. He is a snake. Yeah. Huh? Gay.
Blonde waitresses take their trays, they spin around and they cross the floor. They got the star. Oh, way, oh. You drop your drink and they give you more. All the kids in the marketplace say, hey, oh, hey, oh.
Look, why isn't he trying to sing? Why is he speaking the words? It's not a spoken word track. You're supposed to sing.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Shimmy.
He's not even dancing, the cunt.
Japanese with their yen, the party boys call the Kremlin. But the Chinese know they're rolling on like Egyptians. All the cops in the donut shop say, way-oh, way-oh, way-oh.
Kill me. Literally kill me.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Fucking hell. No, thankfully that was ITV, so we didn't pay for it. It's a private thing, but like, just grim.
Morning. The news today is completely dominated by what is happening in the Middle East.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we can show you.
got him. Victory is ours.
I'm going to have to call you out. Ride Feather, the fact that you fucking followed after that. I don't know that you are a high enough quality person to be in this room. If that's the level you think is acceptable as entertainment, get out. Just leave. I'm only playing. I'm only playing. They've probably already left. But you know, I am only joking. There was a noise, wasn't there? Hang on. Apparently, Ahmadinejad was D. Al Nafo. What's D. Al? Definitely libertarian. Nafo, Rip Shorty. Okay. Down low. Well, I don't speak American. Priti Patel had 12 meetings that were never minuted with Israeli state officials. Yeah, she's an Israeli spy. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Kev is secretly Nafo. Honestly, I'm going to fucking do you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to come round to your house and I'm going to tickle you until you piss yourself and possibly shit yourself. Alright? What the fuck? Jack Whitehall's Mandelson joke deemed too much for the Brits. Hang on. Yeah, allow ads. Refresh page. Alright, I'll get rid of the fucking block. Jesus Christ, Metro.
It's Andy Burnham. Yes! Legend. The only party he's allowed into these days. And Lisa Nandy! Lisa Nandy, this must be the politicians' table. I wonder who else is here. I think I... The next award is for Breakthrough Artist. It is an absolute...
Okay, well, what did he actually say? Okay, so they fuzzed out him doing a bit about Mandelson, but what did he actually say? Someone must know. He was in a room full of people with, like, social media accounts. So what did he say? Is there a comment section? No. Well, there is, but no one has shared their thoughts on this topic yet. Well, fuck you, Metro. Probably said, I see Mandelson. I don't know. He said, I heard Peter Mandelson was on the list. Oh, wait, no, that's another list. Nonsense. Well, actually, I was thinking about this today. Chat. Like, with the Iran war starting, how bad must the pedo shit that's about to drop about Trump be? Like, how much is the new tranche of, like, Epstein documents? How bad is that? Must that be that he's done this? And there's probably, like, a video of him literally fucking killing a babby or something. You know what I mean?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Thank you, Carl Brown, for gifting a membership on the YouTube. Much love to you. We can't see the video, Kev. Well, you don't need to see the video because it was literally just Jack Whitehall stood next to a table of people. It was not very important or worthwhile. But there we go. Hello there, Zakap. Everyone go and follow Zakap immediately. Fucking immediately.
What's happening in a quiet Tel Aviv in Israel. Damaged buildings from Iran hitting back.
Oh, and this was completely unprovoked, was it, BBC? Is there any reason why Iran might have done this? Did Iran, apropos of literally nothing,
may be good,
start
sometimes
dropping
may be
bombs?
shit.
Or was this maybe a direct retaliation which he already warned it would do? And that it already did the last time they tried this shit last year? That's just tough shit, mate. Yo, Kev, I heard you washed your underwear and are wearing a fresh pair today. Great job, friendo. I'm so proud of you. The struggle's real.
This is Qatar this morning, where there have been attacks too. Smoke.
Good. Fuck 'em.
On the skyline. Events are moving faster than the papers or news websites can cover, but the front pages around the world, of course, all lead on the death of the Ayatollah. The Sun says Ayatollah dead, simply. Other newspapers in this country, the Sunday Mirror says the Middle East is in flames, dead in the rubble. The headline on the Sunday Telegraph. The Sunday Times says the Ayatollah has been killed in a blitz. We can't tell you today whether this is the start of Iran's safe passage to democracy or the beginning of a bloody war.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Time out. The manufacturing consent machine is an interesting thing. But it doesn't really work when it's that obvious. Safe passage to democracy. Shall we see how safe this safe passage is? I don't know about you, mate, but that doesn't look very safe to me. Safe passage to democracy, you say? Because that seems like that's an entire section of a town that's literally on fire. Maybe you and I just have very, 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 very different interpretations of the word safe. Or indeed democracy.
War that will drag on and put the whole world in danger.
Well, it's definitely that bit.
But the eventual answer to that question will affect every single one of us. Iran's place on the map, Afghanistan on one side, Iraq and Turkey on the other, gives it incredible influence in the middle of a region.
You're also forgetting the Straits of Hormuz there, which is the little pointy bit there that sticks out, which they've already shut down, which carries, I think I'm right in saying, something like a third of the entire world's oil goes through those straits, because you've got, of course, Iraq and some from Saudi Arabia and all of Iran's oil and all of that shit. And it goes through that little bit, which is very easy to close off because it's a very narrow choke point. So, you know, as well as all the death and destruction, there's also the fact that you are about to have a massive spike in oil prices. And indeed energy prices, because you've got liquid natural gas and such as well. So, you know, probably not a great idea, especially when it's being done to stop weird pedos from going to jail. You know, good stuff.
Fraught with tension, a country of some 90 million people. Many celebrating this morning in the streets because the regime has repressed its own. Just weeks ago, thousands of protesters were killed on the streets for standing up to the Ayatollah. And the regime has long...
Wow, thankfully they didn't join Palestine Action, though, otherwise they'd have been called terrorists, of course. You know.
...exported terror around the world, backing groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, helping Russia attack Ukraine. But there have been more strikes on both sides overnight. An Israeli has been killed now alongside many Iranians. And America and Israel's actions, at the very least, stretch international law.
Oh, it's such blatant propaganda. At least they stretch international law. I'm sorry, preemptive hostile war against a country that's literally around the negotiating table waiting for you. The second leader of a country that you have either killed or captured illegally in the last month. Honestly, FIFA look a little bit silly now giving him the Peace Prize. I mean, obviously, I, like everybody else, thought it was a fantastic move at the time. Who could possibly have foreseen that Trump would be a war-mongering piece of shit just like he always sort of promised to be anyway? No. FIFA are very silly. Maybe they could give the next FIFA Peace Prize to the ghost of Hitler. At least he probably won't be invading anywhere anytime soon. Although, of course, if Trump wants to take the same way out, feel free.
They've been condemned by the United Nations and branded as illegal by some of its members. And of
Wasn't Stretch the guy from Saved by the Bell? You have crossed a fucking line there, Sherman. You are talking about the Great Screech. And you'll put some respect on his name. Otherwise you'll be tasting my ring hand. Okay? I don't have a ring on, because obviously.
Of course, the history of attempted regime change by the West is laced with disaster. But President Trump says the death of the Ayatollah is the end of one of the most evil men in history, warning what's left of the regime.
Honestly, Donald Trump is more evil than the Ayatollah. Don't get me wrong, the Ayatollah was evil. And him being dead, they'll just replace him with some other evil cunt. Like, it's not... That's why opposing this war isn't the end of the world. Because, like, this isn't going to help. When has bombing people ever made them more amenable to peace and, like, I don't know, moderation? It makes people more entrenched and extreme. Anyway, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead, lol. But Trump was worse, is worse, and is still around, unfortunately. Is an Ayatollah like a pope or just a name for a leader? I think it's just a leader, isn't it? I don't think they claim to be like the Pope claims to lead all Catholics. I don't think the Ayatollah claims to lead all Muslims. I don't think, anyway. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. It's a religious position. Okay, cool. They claim to speak for all Shia Muslims. Okay, cool. And to be fair, Iran is certainly very fucking influential amongst all Shia Muslims. So.
Not to hit back or be hit with a force that has never been seen before. Well, Clive Myrie in Tel Aviv in Israel for us this morning. Clive, momentous days. What's happened where you are overnight?
Yeah, good morning, Laura. More air raid sirens blaring throughout the day so far. In the last few minutes, we heard huge explosions just off in the distance there. The suggestion being that those are intercepting missiles from Iran's Iron Dome shield.
I think you mean Israel's Iron Dome shield, but okay.
Taking out any incoming missiles that the Iranian...
Oh, I've just noticed sorry, we will get back to this, but I've just noticed in the stream suggestions there, Hellfire, Trump's illegal war, from the one and only
Throbbing
Galloway. Let's have a look. What's he saying? Probably something mental, I imagine.
I wanted the word cuppa, as in cup of tea. I thought it would be great to mix with hug. When I saw the domain was
school, Israeli religious fixture. It was a day of infamy. Operation Jeffrey Epstein is not going well. A sneak.
Okay, that is a powerful start. That is a powerful fucking start, man. Fuck. Okay. Although that would be a more accurate name than they called it Operation Epic Fury, because literally the 12-year-olds are running the American government right now, you know. Fucking hell.
Attack in Ramadan. Murdered in cold blood the 86-year-old leader of Shia Islam.
86, ruined his entire life. Literally, he had upwards of 3 years to go, you know.
Igniting religious fervor and jihad right across the world. The fact that his son-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandson and granddaughter were also slain hasn't even been mentioned in the mainstream Western media. Quickly followed by the massacre of more than 160 schoolgirls in an elementary school. That's scarcely been mentioned either. Followed by 40 female volleyball players being slaughtered in a single airstrike by Israeli and American forces. To date, no Hollywood celebrity has been pictured cutting her hair in anguish and in solidarity.
This is fucking brutal, man. Jesus Christ. He does not mince his words. You've got to give that much.
If you want the war news, if you want it straight, if you want to know what's happening and what's going to happen next, you've come to the right place. It's the mother of all talk shows. Stay tuned. It is
Lovely way to start. Just have a little sip of tea. Let's fucking go.
the biggest single American atrocity since the Vietnam War. The massacre of...
Bigger than Iraq? Okay, honestly, that's a bit of a controversial one. Like, this could end up becoming worse. Sure, but I think Iraq still has to reign high. Just because there's like fucking 500,000 people killed, 4 million displaced, was it in the end? Like, surely Iraq has to be bigger. Don't get me wrong, I know there's like recency bias and all this sort of stuff, but you mentioned Vietnam, so you can't even fucking claim that.
167 girls aged between 7 and 12 in their classrooms in an elementary school close to the Straits of Hormuz in an obscure and far off part of Iran. For no reason that anyone can possibly fathom, all these children were massacred. All of them. Every single child.
It's what Israel does. Israel loves killing children. Like literally, your average Israeli government minister or IDF soldier doesn't know whether they want to fuck kids or kill kids, or fuck kids and then kill kids. It's one of those things. That's all they do. It's nonce Wakanda, after all.
In 5 of the classrooms was massacred. 60 others are wounded in hospital, many of them critical. Later in that first day of the war, 40 volleyball players, 3 squads of volleyball players, all female, were massacred in a single airstrike. I'm probably telling you that piece of news for the first time, but it's quite possible that you don't even know about the slaughter of the schoolgirls. It is the biggest single slaughter of girls in the recorded history of the world, yet no one is talking
true?
about it.
Wasn't it fucking Boko Haram that killed like 100 girls or something? Like, it shouldn't matter in the sense that, like, if you kill one or more, like, it's evil, right? But I think his claim is just incorrect. Again, not that it really matters in a sense, but if we're going to do journalism, you should do it properly, I think.
I don't want to labour this point, but just ponder for a second. If Russia had killed 167 Ukrainian schoolgirls...
160... Oh, sorry, okay. I thought you said 60. Right, my bad. Okay.
Palestinians had killed 167 Israeli schoolgirls. If Iran had killed 167 schoolgirls...
Not only would you have heard about it, but they'd have invented shit like titty football, or, oh, they put fucking a dozen babies in an oven, because, obviously...
This would be the biggest...
And fucking Joe Biden's melty brain would only remember that one sentence and repeat it ad nauseum because he's a cunt.
Journalistic story in the world and for years to come. It has died just as surely as the schoolgirls and the volleyball players have died. It was a sneak attack. It was in the middle of negotiations when a date had been set for tomorrow in Vienna, when the Iranian foreign minister was to travel to meet with Trump's son-in-law and his estate agent friend Steve Witkoff, two ingenues who know nothing whatsoever about the Muslim world, nothing whatsoever about diplomacy, nothing whatsoever about military matters, yet have inexplicably been made the chief negotiators of Donald J. Trump. The negotiations were set to continue on Monday, but on Saturday, what will forever be known as the Epstein War was launched. I don't know what's in the dump that's coming out tomorrow from the Department of Justice in Washington, but it must be pretty horrific. Trump will...
No pre-watch. I did it as a joke. He's saying it seriously, but, like, I did not pre-watch this. It was streamed 2 hours ago. I couldn't have.
Claim that the Israelis jumped the gun and forced him into the war. But that's a lie like every other lie he tells. It now turns out, according to Israeli media, that this date was set 2 months ago. And it was set to coincide with the religious festival of Purim, and it was all about dealing a death blow to the Amaleks. It is an infamy that a head of state was assassinated in cold blood in his own house. It is flatly illegal under American law, never mind international law. Trump could and should be prosecuted for it. The missile, by the way, that killed all these schoolgirls was fired from the deck, a cruise missile, fired from the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, which may or may not be limping somewhere in the Persian Gulf. The Iranians say they hit it with 4 ballistic missiles.
As if the Abraham Lincoln has been assassinated twice now. Does that mean the USS USS Johnson now becomes president? Is that what happens? I don't know.
Which would be
really? Is only one person going to laugh at my Abraham Lincoln assassination joke? Really? Sic semper tyrannis.
Just reward for the massacre of the schoolgirls. The Americans say that the missile never hit the ship at all, but plenty of other things have been hit. Hundreds of Iranians have been killed.
Too
Tens
soon.
of Israelis
True.
have been killed. Maybe more, but strict censorship in Israel makes it impossible to know the extent of the damage and definitely the extent of the casualties. One thing is clear. The head of the Israel...
Apparently the USS Kennedy has also been shot. Definitely from that book depository. Honest.
Israeli Air Force has been assassinated by an Iranian rocket, which devastated a meeting of military officers, Air Force officers principally. The head of the Israeli Air Force was the man who massacred tens, scores of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza over the last 2 years. I don't know where he's destined for. God decides that. But I'll be surprised
Jesus Christ.
if he's not already burning in the hellfires. The other American targets that have been...
naturally, of course. You'll never guess where Benjamin Netanyahu straight away went. Germany. Because this is what he always does. He starts a war and then flies off somewhere else. Which, by the way, just to Germany, you are a signatory to the Rome Statute. That means you're a member of the International Criminal Court. You currently have on your territory a person with a warrant out from the ICC called Benjamin Netanyahu, who specifically is now your legal duty to arrest and arraign before the International Criminal Court. You know, if you actually believe in the rule of law, of course. If you think international law is an important thing that should be followed, as you claim.
hit you only know about if you're following me on social media, as many hundreds of thousands are doing, millions in fact. Many millions of people have followed my coverage of the war on all platforms on social media. But if you're watching the BBC lie machine, if you're watching the hysterical Zionist and American propaganda on CBS or on CNN, you probably don't know about the American officers who were killed in a hotel in Dubai. You probably don't know about the American casualties in Bahrain, as base after base after base of the American war machine was obliterated. And usually the officers, at least if not the enlisted men, had decamped to nearby quarters, renting out entire hotels.
It looks like hair flick melting. That is an amazing sentence. And on that bombshell, we'll go back to these dickheads.
Are firing in, but last night one of those missiles did get through. We watched it streak through the sky, a bright red flash of light in that direction over there, and we know that it hit a residential area. One person was killed and a number of people have been injured. The Iranians have also, in their response to the death of the supreme leader, exacting their retaliation by attacking a number of other countries around the Gulf, from Dubai, Doha, and so on. So this conflagration is already widening. And we know that the authorities in Iran, they're now meeting to try to pick a new leader. The big question, will that person want to talk to the West and climb down from a position of wanting to develop a nuclear program and ballistic missile capability? Or will they be willing to continue the fight against the West as the Supreme...
Okay, well, we didn't get the MTG we wanted, but we got a different MTG today. Former Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who posted on the fascist shithole known as Twitter, with the picture of from the GOP, vote for the pro-peace ticket, vote Trump fans. Okay. She says, "We said no more foreign wars, no more regime change. We said it on a rally stage after rally stage, speech after speech. Trump, Vance, basically the entire admin campaigned on it and promised to put America first and make America great again. My generation has been let down, abused and used by our government our entire adult lives, and our children's generation is literally being abandoned. Thousands and thousands of Americans from my generation have been killed and injured in never-ending, pointless foreign wars. And we said...
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Duel between Galloway and Barry Weiss. Who wins?
Well, it depends what you mean by a duel. I mean, Barry Weiss is obviously a far more politically influential person now, so if you mean in terms of power, Barry Weiss, because, you know, evil wins. But if you mean, like, in a wrestling match, I think I would take Galloway. Definitely. Anyway. Foreign wars, and we said no more, but we are freeing the Iranian people. Please. There are 93 million people in Iran. Let them liberate themselves. But Iran is on the verge of having nuclear weapons. Yeah, sure. We have been spoon-fed this lie for decades, and Trump told us all that his bombing this past summer completely wiped it all out. Well, literally true. And of course, Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way, has been promising that Iran is just days away from having a nuclear bomb since like 1993. And it's as true, as in not true at all, as it was then. It's always a lie, and it's always America last, but it feels like the worst betrayal this time, because it comes from the very man and the admin who we all believed was different and said no more. Yeah, this is partly on you, MTJ. 100%. You're the one that fucking pushed this guy who was a proven liar and a pederast to be in this position. You have to take some of the share of the blame here. And we thought that meant the common American man and woman and their children, not the elites. You elected a billionaire paedophile. What do you mean you thought he was going to represent the American people and not the elites? He is the elites. Hundreds of thousands of American small business owners lost their hard-earned businesses during tyrannical COVID lockdowns. Okay, she's going a bit mental now. That, by the way, started under Trump, with 15 days to slow the spread, and continued under Biden and Democrats. There is no difference between them. Vaccine injuries, deaths, delays and loss in our taxpayer-funded education, record high suicides, record high big pharma profits, and zero accountability for anyone from the MAGA America First administration as they ran off to start wars and the Board of Peace at the same time. Create the crisis and the solution simultaneously and then build condos to profit. MAGA! This is just a stream of consciousness from a mentalist. I love it. This is the kind of thing you see fucking scrawled in like a manifesto of a shooter. Are we sure the person that murked fucking Charlie Kirk didn't write this? Are we sure about that? I don't know. Hang on, where are you? For years we demanded the release to release the Epstein files, demanding transparency and justice for thousands of victims, women and children, by the richest, most powerful men in the world, and we had to fight Trump himself to do it, even after we all campaigned on it, and not a single person has been arrested, and likely won't be. No accountability, no justice. Yeah, of course you had to fight fucking Trump for it, because Trump's in there. Trump is the pedophile. Instead, we get a war with Iran, and on behalf of Israel, that will succeed in regime change in Iran. No, it won't. No, it won't. Oh, yeah, and MTG literally said no justice. For what? Does it lower our inflation that our government caused? But the government caused all the inflation, did it? Okay, cool. Caused by both Democrats and Republicans, with their decades of corrupt government spending that has enslaved us all to nearly 40 trillion in debt and reduced the value of the dollar to nothing. Honestly, this might as well be scrawled in shit on the inside of a lunatic asylum cell. This is fucking mad. No war with Iran. No, comma. War with Iran does not lower inflation and make cost of living affordable. Does war with Iran fix our healthcare system and make health insurance affordable for Americans? No, war with Iran does not do that, and the MAGA admin and Republicans aren't even on it in any serious way at all. Does war with Iran stop AI from replacing your job? Nope. Does war with Iran help you to be able to afford to buy a home? No, but you'll see TikTok videos of night penthouses when Gaza is rebuilt. Does war with Iran help the mental health crisis in America? Clearly not. Clearly not, Madge. Or help the drug addiction pandemic in America? Nope. Does war with Iran do anything to help American families stay together and survive? No, not at all. But you don't start a sentence with the word but. That is terrible English. But within hours of war with Iran, it was reported approximately 40 innocent girls, school children in Iran, were killed by bombs from Israel. And they don't care. They killed thousands of innocent children in Gaza, and apparently our pro-peace administration doesn't care either. And, again, you don't start a sentence with and. You at least learn to write the language if you're going to claim to support the culture or whatever. Come on now. And since they don't solve America's problems, clearly they don't care about our kids either. That's not true. Trump cares about kids. He's fucked loads of American kids. Now, America is going to be force-fed and gaslighted all the noble reasons the American peace president and pro-peace administration had to go to war once again this year, after being in power for only a year. Head-spinning, but MAGA. Some of that was true. Some of it was mental. But some of it was definitely true. But even the true bits are like, okay, fine. Don't get me wrong, absolutely fine. But this is on you as well. You did this. We all said Trump is a lying piece of shit. Trump was a drone strike fucking czar in his first term. There is no such fucking thing as him being the peace president and you still campaign for him. This is on you too. You don't get to pretend after the fact that this is like just Trump and the administration. No, this is on you too. You have the blood of Iranians dripping from your hands as well, Madge. Deal with it.
Leader did.
And Clive, the consequences are unknowable, but in that part of the world, what does it feel like this morning?
Well, to be fair, some of the consequences are very knowable. In that Iran's going to go fucking mental and bomb everywhere. Obviously. It already has. Now, some of it is unknowable, of course. But, look. If your whole argumentation here is that the circumstances are unknowable, maybe going into this war in the first place without a clear understanding of what was going to happen and your way in and out of this scenario maybe learn from Iraq, because we went in with the same problems in Iraq, where we didn't know the outcome of it, and it ended up being fucked up, and it was difficult to extricate yourself without making the situation even worse. Same is true in Afghanistan. Maybe wading in and dropping bombs in a very sensitive part of the world with lots of, religious turmoil and economic problems and all the rest of it, maybe that's not a great situation and just creates further problems down the line. Remember that the war in Iraq literally created the foundations of ISIS. We spent a quadrillion, gazillion, gabillion dollars in Afghanistan and wasted huge amounts of lives on all sides in order to replace the Taliban with the fucking Taliban. What makes you think that Iran is going to be any better? Because, to give you a little history lesson, the whole reason that they have an Ayatollah in Iran is because they did have a democratic leader who America and Britain decided was a little bit too nationalising the oil, and so they got rid of him and replaced him with a Shah, and the people overthrew him. It was an unknowable outcome that came to pass. So maybe sending in a fucking mongoose to go after the snakes that went after the rats, that went after the cats, that went after the this, that and the other, that you've sent in previously, isn't actually the solution to the problem. Maybe America is the problem. Well, Israel as well, but Israel is an extension of America, so let's not, yeah.
Edge here. There's no question about that. What could the next day bring? Donald Trump has talked about regime change, although he's not willing to put boots on the ground in Iran, and the Israelis certainly aren't willing to do that either. And it's difficult to bring about regime change if you don't do that. But the Israelis will continue to pummel military installations and so on to get the military.
To be fair, Omaha, militarily they've won several wars since then. It's just that
the return of the sausage.
Hang on.
Nobody say I told you so.
Thank you, Dingus, but go. Go. Do I have a boo? I don't think I have a boo, do I?
Shut the fuck up, you parasite.
There you go. Yes.
To try to switch sides in Iran. But this
anyway, the point being, America has militarily won several wars since 1945. But as we've learned, wars aren't just won on battlefields, which is not a lesson that anyone should have to have learned, of course, but it very much is the case. America won the war literally in Iraq, in that they overtook all of the territory of Iraq, replaced its government with one more to its liking, and was able to keep semblance of peace in large parts of it. But undoubtedly it lost the peace completely and utterly, like embarrassingly. Similarly in Afghanistan, although to be fair, there were parts of the kind of mountainous regions of Afghanistan that are basically untamable. It doesn't matter what you fucking do. There's no piece of technology that we're going to invent that's going to like get rid of mountains. They're still just going to fucking be there, and it's going to be difficult. But outside of that, they, militarily got rid of the Taliban initially, took over, were able to build infrastructure and the semblance of a government. Although, again, as was found out as soon as America left, it was only a semblance of a government, but it was there, internationally recognised, etc. And then they fundamentally completely lost the fucking peace. Because America has not taken on the Rooseveltian concept of speak softly and carry a big stick. They've just gone, well, how about we cut out the talking softly bit and just carry a big stick? There's a reason that the talk softly bit was supposed to be there as well. One without the other doesn't make sense. Just speaking softly without the big stick means that people can ignore you speaking softly. Just carrying the big stick, which means people don't want to talk to you. You have no diplomatic leverage because you're just a fucking bully that people don't want to talk to. Including your own NATO allies now, who now think you're a fucking lunatic nation, a pariah state. Because you're threatening to invade fucking Greenland and stuff. The whole point of doing both of those things is that you can talk to people, you can negotiate, but ultimately you do have the fail-safe of being able to say fuck you if it doesn't quite go your way. Now, don't get me wrong, that is still sort of imperialistic, I understand that, but I'm just explaining how America has lost its way in terms of what it was even supposed to be doing at one point, and why it's not effective on the international stage in a way it could be, given the amount of power it has. Because it basically doesn't even bother trying to negotiate anymore. Because why would you? Trump isn't interested in a negotiation. He wants to cut deals. And that's not how negotiations really work. You know? It's not all transactional. There are things that cannot be negotiated. Right? The Ukrainian people are not going to cede half of their fucking country. However convenient it would be for you, Donald, for them to do so, they're not going to do it. Iran is not going to cede all of its fucking oil to you, you mad cunt. It's not going to do it. And yes, Trump is a nonce. Yeah, that's a fact.
Conflict has already spread. As I say, Iran has bombed a number of other countries in the Gulf, but also today we've seen Shia communities in northern Iraq, for instance, in Erbil, in Pakistan as well, voice their opposition to the West by denouncing the killing of the supreme leader. So could you see a rise in terror attacks, for instance, on Western targets as a result of the battles that we're seeing here play out? This has a long way to run, and it's beginning to take in a much wider area than just Israel and Iran itself.
Clive, thanks so much, and we'll look forward to your reporting through the rest of the day. Welcome to the three of you on a huge day. Rana, firstly to you, as an Iranian, what did you think when you heard that the Ayatollah had died?
This was a moment I waited for all my life. We weren't expecting it to happen so quickly. Obviously, there's happiness amongst many Iranians. Ali Khamenei had the blood of many.
Let's have a look at this individual. Rana Rahimpour? Okay. He's an Iranian-British journalist who worked for the BBC Persian's lead presenter and bilingual correspondent. Okay, so she's a BBC person. Okay.
Many innocent Iranians on his hand. When I woke up, I ran and woke up my children and I said, the Iranian dictator is dead. And my son asked whether we can now go home and visit my parents who live there. And I said, the dictator is dead, but Iran is not free yet. So I'm happy that he's no longer on this earth.
I'm happy that Iran is being bombed. Is an interesting thing for someone who likes Iran.
But I'm also concerned that the world is not necessarily a safer place as a result of his death.
And Bronwyn, who was the Ayatollah, for people who don't follow this closely or who haven't had their lives shaped by him?
The Ayatollah was the former world #3 snooker player, made 2 world semi-finals and won the UK Open in 1982. Was known for his shot-making ability, although his safety play was, at times, a little bit rough.
Who was he?
Well, he was the leader suffused with religion, but who sat on top of a very powerful military and ran this regime and gave this very theocratic, repressive regime its nature. So every time, and there have been waves of young...
And let's not mention Saudi Arabia, because they're our friends.
People rising up, women rising up in support of their own rights. And every time there has been a brutal crackdown, as we've seen very, very recently. And the order to do that, the spirit to do that, if you like, came from him. And he was, as we understand it, very much also the one who wanted to drive the nuclear program to make Iran...
Was that snooker thing a joke? Yes, obviously it was a joke. 255, yes. very, very obviously. Also, you could have just Googled that. You could have Googled who won the UK Championship in 1982 and found out it was, I don't know who it was, Terry Griffiths or whoever the fuck won it, and not Ayatollah Ali Khamenei of Iran. You fucking bumberclart.
A force throughout the region, reaching also into its proxies that have caused a lot of trouble right across the region. So he was the character of the regime, but he wasn't the only one in capturing that, and I suspect we will come on to that point.
We certainly will come on to the consequences, but Alan, also in this, for successive British governments, Iran has been an enemy, a threat.
That's true, and there won't be many tears shed for the Ayatollah. The question is what comes next. I mean, we saw in Venezuela, it's not so much regime change as regime slight alteration. And so Trump's record on this is to act rather recklessly without thinking through the consequences, and that's the worry. What comes next?
OK, we'll be with you to discuss the consequence and also to process what our guests say to us this morning. Thank you, all three of you, for now.
Absolutely point. This show is so shit.
Events have moved very, very fast in the last 24 hours, but this story, of course, did not start in the last few days. This chapter, though, did begin in the early hours yesterday.
The US and Israel launch coordinated airstrike.
I honestly, total guess on my part, but literally the 1982 UK Snooker Championship was won for the one and only time by Terry Griffiths of Wales. It was. He beat Alex Higgins 16-15 at the Preston Guildhall. Boom. I had to check just because, fuck it, why not? Look at that Ray Reardon. Old names. Oh. Indeed, on St David's Day, we celebrate the victory of a Welshman 45 years ago. Oh my, 44 years ago. As if that's 44 fucking years ago. Oh, God, I'm scared, chat. That was... Oh, I feel really old and disgusting now. We're closer to 2060 than we are to that. No, I'm not 44, I'm only 38. But, like, 1982 doesn't seem that long ago. And yet it fucking is. When snooker was a proper sport, true. Pissheads smoking. Honestly, if you get a chance, it's actually quite sad in its own way. The great Bill Werbeneck, Canadian snooker player, who was very, very good. He was like top 16 most of his career. But was so nervous about playing in front of crowds that he had to get, like, essentially blackout drunk. Like, he would have to get absolutely off his fucking face just to be able to go and do it. And he could still win. He won, I think he won a couple of titles, and he was a very, very good player. Completely blackout drunk. Imagine how good it'd have been if he could have done it sober. Absolutely mad shit. It's really sad, because, like, when they stopped them drinking... When they tried to, like, professionalise it and do all that shit in the kind of late 80s, he had to just retire. Because he couldn't do it. He literally couldn't play in front of a crowd sober. Yeah, Jockey Wilson, the darts player, was a similar thing. Yeah. I play a bit of snooker. I'm not brilliant, but I'm alright. I remember the 5-minute 147 for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Yes, against Nick Price. A classic 90s jobbing fucking, regular qualifier for events, but never really winning anything type guy. A workaday snooker player. Is Kev snooker maxing? I am. You're getting bays mogged, okay?
Strikes right across Iran.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. I love Trump.
promised to respond with crushing force.
Let's move quickly. Oh my god. Okay,
Is this the safe transition to democracy we were talking about earlier? Is this safe, is it? Is this safe enough for you? So much safety. Oh, I'm feeling so fucking secure right now.
I hope no people there.
The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes.
Why do you exist? Can I ask you that, Keith? Why are you a thing? I've never wanted to not hear from a person than fucking Keith. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You're not a worthwhile person. Your opinion is null. You are a moot Prime Minister. If only you were a mute Prime Minister, that would also be awesome.
Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has been killed.
Well, let's talk to the Defence Secretary. Thank you very much indeed for coming in this morning, Mr. Healy.
Good morning.
Is it a good thing that the Ayatollah is dead?
No one will mourn his death, not least those friends and families.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to skip back 5 seconds. Just remember he said, no one will mourn his passing. That seems a little bit mourny. That is Morny on Main, right there.
Well, let's talk to the Defence Secretary. Thank you very much indeed for coming in this morning, Mr. Healy.
Good morning.
Is it a good thing that the Ayatollah is dead?
No one will mourn his death, not least those friends and families of the tens of thousands of young protesters that were murdered on the streets of Iran in recent months. But make no mistake, this is...
Well, thankfully, because if they had survived, right, they might have been killed by Israeli bombs, and then it would have been fine, actually. That's fine. The Iranians being killed now, that's good, but the Iranians being killed then is bad. Get ready to lose a lot more by-elections, is what I would suggest. Just saying.
Is a regime that he has run for decades as a source of evil. It has murdered its own citizens, it's exported terror, including to Britain. And my concern now is the increasingly indiscriminate...
Aren't we literally exporting terror in the form of bombs right now to Iran? Like, come on, dude.
Attacks from Iran widely across the Middle East are putting British personnel and British people...
No, to be fair, they're not indiscriminate. They're very discriminate. They are incredibly discriminate. They are bombing places and, like, ships and stuff to do with the governments and the militaries that are bombing Iran. They are specifically discriminating in favour of targets that would... that are attacking them. As opposed to Israeli bombs which fall on schools. Crazy, I know.
Civilians at risk. And so my first job as Defence Secretary is to protect those British people.
Yeah, Josh Simon's fucking resigned. The guy who was behind the Labour Together, but fucking harassing journalists bit. Interesting, that, isn't it? That happened on the same day that this war started. Almost like it was a good day to bury bad news. Not to bury bed news. That doesn't make any sense at all. He will be a lord, almost certainly, I imagine, yes.
Civilians and military, our British bases, reinforce regional security and do all we can to prevent further regional escalation, which is what the Prime Minister was talking about yesterday.
So you think right now Iran's retaliation is putting British troops and British civilians at risk across the region?
It is indeed. Let me confirm a few fresh details for you. When I talk about increasingly indiscriminate...
Well, when we talk about Barry's bed news, are we talking Gareth Barry or Boubacar Barry? Because I imagine those are two very different pieces of bad news.
I know people at home will be worried that not just military targets were hit yesterday, but also we've seen hotels in Dubai and Bahrain. We've seen Kuwait civilian airport. But in that Bahrain military base that was hit by missiles and drones yesterday, we had 300 British personnel, some within several hundred yards of the strike.
Oh, and that's a bad miss. That is a very niche joke, and I appreciate it enormously. Thank you. Although, of course, in the case of Ali Khamenei, it wasn't a miss, was it? It was actually a very good putt. Across the nap of the cloth and everything. It was really, really delicate shot. Just had to drop it in dead weight into the middle. Absolutely beautiful. And ended up on a bolt colour as well, to keep the break going. Excellent work.
In Cyprus, we had 2 ballistic missiles fired in the direction of Cyprus. Now, we are pretty sure they weren't targeted at Cyprus, but nevertheless, it demonstrates how our bases, our personnel, military and civilians at the moment are at risk with a regime that is increasingly indiscriminate, widespread and uncontrolled in the attacks it's mounting.
But what are you actually doing about that?
Well, several weeks ago, we've reinforced Britain's defences in the region. More radars, planes and weapon systems in place. We're flying British planes in the air throughout yesterday and overnight.
We have our second MTG of the stream. We heard from former representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now we are of the no justice variety. How are you? How was it Italy you went to? I don't know. You don't have to dox yourself. Anyway, I hope your nerdy activities are going well. And yes, apparently RAF Akrotiri has been bombed. I mean, how are we going to do reconnaissance flights now? It's almost like they've stopped us from doing a genocide, which is like, that's against our sovereignty. Our government has sovereignly decided that we are going to do genocide, and Iran are taking that away from us. This is not the Brexit I voted for.
That's defending our regional allies. It's reinforcing.
For any of the new people who came in, because, by the way, No Justice got looked. She said, I'll go and follow everyone. And I thought, oh, maybe a couple of people. Like, nearly 200 fucking people joined. For the new people, I didn't actually vote for Brexit. I do a regular thing where I'd say a stupid thing and then say that's not the Brexit I voted for. It's basically like a political version of number wang, where you say something indecipherable and then just say, that's not the Brexit I voted for.
That sense of security, and it's trying to protect first and foremost our British bases and our British personnel, which is my principal priority as British Defence Secretary.
And we know also there are many people even who've just been on holiday in the region, as well as people who are expats. I'd just like to play you what one of them has told us, Fiona Claxton, who's there with her family on holiday.
There was about,
I know. I'm slightly more sympathetic to holiday makers, although if you're holidaying in Dubai, you're still a cunt. But like, you haven't moved there, so okay, the British government should probably like take care of you. But it's the tax exiles. I'm sorry, if you don't want to pay your taxes to the British government, why the fuck should my fucking taxes pay to bail you out when you fucked off to Dubai? Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't want to pay any tax. You don't get any fucking services. No representation without taxation, cunts. Yeah, that's right, I flipped it. I flipped it around on the Americans there. Boom. If you don't want to pay your fucking taxes, enjoy the fantastic services that you're going to get from the Dubai government. You cunts.
Five consecutive large explosions at about 5 o'clock this morning, and you know the glass reverberated and stuff. But when it all kicked off last night, you know, you sort of go into, I don't scare easily, but it's sort of the uncertainty, I think, as much as anything. Nothing people can do, but it's just how long is this going to go on? If you go onto the consulate website, which I find very intriguing, you can find nowhere to register that you're here on holiday, which would have been helpful.
So what should people do?
Well, if Fiona's obviously...
What, the PZ Myers thing, 255? Yeah, I got that. I'm not sure I'm going to watch it on stream or anything, but I'll watch it at some point.
worried, her wider family back home will be worried. I've got a friend in Dubai I was in communication with last night, and he was messaging me from the underground hotel car park because they took shelter with another air raid siren, and that was in Dubai. What people should...
What you... Hang on, what the... And that was in Dubai. Yeah, Dubai, that hosts fucking US ships and stuff. Yeah, it's a legit military target. Don't go on holiday next to a fucking American base, which, to be fair, does cut down on the number of places you can go on holiday, I suppose. But especially don't go when you know that there's like a situation like that. Don't go to Dubai. Just don't go to Dubai in general. I think is probably a good piece of advice. But yeah, like don't holiday in places that Iran might want to bomb. I mean, they won't bomb here, obviously, because Birmingham is 100% Muslim. So, as Robert Jenrick rightly pointed out, there are no white people in Birmingham. I'm actually a Muslim, a black man, who whites up for stream. I play Kevin Logan, a white Irish British man, who is a sardonic, a kind of a downbeat kind of negative person. That's not what I actually am deep down inside. I, the black man, playing this, I'm actually very upbeat. I'm life and soul of the party. But I created this character as like an outlet for my creative passions, you see.
Do is follow the Foreign Office travel advice. This is a rapidly changing situation. The advice is changing. For some countries like Israel and Palestine, it is simply don't go there. For most of the countries in the Middle East, it is a question of registering your presence. And for some countries, it's a question of advice to stay at home, take shelter.
Chucky Allah,
so
indeed.
What people should do is go to that Foreign Office website. You can also register your presence there, but above all, you'll get the bang up-to-date travel advice as this situation in the Middle East.
Maybe don't say bang up-to-date. Also, don't be dropping any truth bombs. That sort of thing, you know? Or just don't drop any bombs altogether. That would probably be better, but you know.
Develops very rapidly.
And in terms then of those developments in the UK government's position, do you back what America and Israel have done? It's been condemned by the United Nations. Many countries have said it's illegal. Some of your colleagues have said it is illegal.
Because it is, very obviously. It is aggressive warfare. Which, by the way, can I just say, people forget this, but as a history fucking nerd... That's right, I am roasting myself there. As a history nerd, I have to point out that one of the 4 indictments of the war criminals at Nuremberg, you know, the famous ones with Goering and all those cunts, one of those was the making of aggressive war. People forget that. They think it was just, it was about the Holocaust and that. No, actually, some of them weren't really guilty in the sense of being provably so in a court of law and all the rest of it for direct involvement in the Holocaust. They were all guilty of, in one way or another, of making aggressive war, though. Some of them were literally executed on that indictment alone. Just saying. Might be worth looking into that again, I think.
Does the government back what they've done?
Britain played no part in the strikes on Iran. We share, however, the primary aim.
Has Jonathan Ashworth actually had a stroke? Is that actually true, or is that just some shit someone is saying in chat? I don't know.
Of all allies in the region and the US.
If you mean he's had a stroke as in he's a wanker, I already know.
That Iran should never have a nuclear weapon.
But do you believe this action was within international law?
Well, we play no part in the strikes. We just didn't...
You fucking absolute bollockless bastard. Answer the question. I don't give a fuck if you personally were involved in it or not. Well, I mean, I do care about that. But in the answer to the question, do you think it was illegal? Like, come on now. This is pathetic.
Participate, and it is for the US to set out the legal basis of the action that it took. Our first focus...
So you don't know if it's legal, you don't have a view?
Oh,
McAllister.
That is an advert. That it's no. Fuck off with your adverts, you pricks. Oh, fucking hate the world. Just pretend that this bit hasn't happened and like just stick with me. Stick with me, okay? Nearly fell off my fucking chair. And I pulled the fucking headphones out of the fucking thing. Fucking hell. Oh. Apparently it's old news. No, it says 1st of March 2026. Literally today. Yeah. He suffered a stroke on New Year's Day. Lol. I mean, some people might think they've had a rough start to 2026. He literally had a fucking stroke. But it's news as in it's just been revealed that happened. Because of course it's private clinical information and all that jazz. Anyway, I was going to say, chat, in regards to like the Manchester, Gorton and Denton thing, right? You know they say that if your erection lasts more than 10 hours, you should go and see a doctor? It's been 4 fucking days. I'm a little bit fucking worried now. I'm a bit scared, to be honest with you. And this news from Ashton just means, like, Jonathan Ashworth having a stroke means that I'm going to have a stroke too, as in rub my fucking cock, right? This erection may never go away. I may just have a permanent erection and dizziness from the blood not being around my brain but being somewhere else. Unbelievable.
As to whether or not these strikes were the right thing to do and within international law?
So it's for the US to explain the legal basis they're operating
But
on.
other countries other important allies of the UK have. So Canada, for example, Australia, for example, close allies of yours and of this country's have both said explicitly that they do back what America and Israel have done. And you're taking a different position.
So I'm here as British Defence Secretary. Our first focus and all our action is defensive. It's within international law. It's coordinated with regional allies to make sure that we can reinforce and protect not just our UK personnel and people, but UK allies, bases and partners in the region. And we share that long-term aim. We share that determination that...
This is fucking pathetic. Like, at least Australia and fucking who else, Canada was it, have come out and said, yeah, they support it. Like, that's disgusting, and those people are going to burn in hell, if not at The Hague at some point. But this is really pathetic, because at least that position is honest. They actually do support America in this, and are fine with it happening. It's despicable, but you know where they stand. This is just fucking ballless nonsense. This is just pathetic. Pretending like, oh well, we're not going to come out and say we support it. So you're adding dishonesty to war criminality. I'm sure this is definitely going to turn around the fucking polling numbers for you lads. Honestly, brilliant.
Iran should never have a nuclear weapon.
But that's
and
a different answer to the question.
Well, that's interesting, considering Iran literally promised for the first time ever to never stockpile enriched uranium materials at the negotiation table last week. A very significant concession and breakthrough to preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. So if that actually was your concern, you would be disgusted by the fact that America have scuppered that negotiation and removed that very significant thing from the table now. It's almost like you're a lying piece of shit. No, it's not Labour in can't pick a side shocker. That's a fundamentally... You're almost sort of buying the lie there. They want you to think that they're hedging their bets. They're not. They are absolutely fully behind America's actions here. It's just they're too much of a bunch of fucking pussies to come out and say so. Again, at least the government of Australia and Canada are honestly evil enough to come out and say, no, this is fucking dope. Actually, bombing innocent people is cool and dope and we like that. Yay! So you know where they stand. Whereas this dickhead's like, oh, I don't know, it's a... whilst actually being a part of a government that absolutely stands whole hock in boot-licking fucking order with all those other countries, but just won't say so publicly. Which isn't better, actually. It's ridiculous.
Of whether or not you back these dramatic, some would say audacious and courageous, some would say reckless and dangerous actions by America and Israel. Do you think it was reckless or do you think it was right?
Look, we played no part in these strikes.
He sounds like Morrissey. Well, heaven knows he's miserable now. Ashworth's in a coma? Actually, he's not really, but you know. The Smiths don't have a song called Girlfriend Recovering from a Stroke, so what do you want me to fucking do?
As Britain, we can look...
This charmless man?
Know that, you've said that already, but Secretary of State, this is a moment of history, and everyone watching this morning will want to know and will expect to know from their government, is Britain on the side of those two countries?
We're not involved.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
UK will allow US to use bases to strike Iranian missile sites, and that's how you get your bases targeted. That's why RAF Akrotiri has been bombed.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
RAF Rainsford in Gloucestershire and Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean are going to be used. So Gloucestershire is going to get bombed by Iran. Adults in the room, everybody.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Okay, Gennaro, we fucking get it, mate. Jesus. Shut the fuck up. Why am I angry at Gennaro Gattuso? I put the fucking noise there. Anyway, thank you to Verminsky for 5 memberships on the YouTube. Much love to you. Do not forget, chat. You can give me money in the form of bits and subs and memberships and subscriptions and all of that jazz. You can gift them to the community. You can throw money at me in the street like I'm a Premier League referee. It's all good. Anyway, yeah, so the we're not helping the Americans line didn't last very long. What did I say? What did I literally say? They're obviously fully in line with America's bullshit. Because, of course they fucking are. Britain is pathetically cocked to America. Embarrassing!
Countries who have killed Iran's supreme leader.
So I think people watching, people like Fiona, will want to know now, today, that Britain is on top of what's necessary to do what we can to keep them safe, to reinforce regional stability, prevent further escalation, and that's my task and that's my priority as Defence Secretary of the UK.
Okay, we can hear you're not going to give us a view this morning, but do you rule...
Yeah, you're not going to answer the question, and that's fine. As a journalist, I'm just going to accept that. Award-winning.
The UK being involved in further strikes, do you rule that out?
Well, I'm simply not going to speculate on.
It's not speculating. You're the
No,
Defence
it is.
Secretary.
It's future. It's hypotheticals. It's future speculation. Situations that are evolving very rapidly. I say two things. First of all, everything that we do is within international law. Secondly,
No, it isn't. You lying cunts. What the fuck are you talking about? He's gone a bit Epstein here. He's gone a bit fucking Mandelson here. What's happening here? What? He's gone very Donald Trump. You know you can grab schoolgirls by the teeth. They just let you do it when you're a famous dinosaur. Well, that's just fucked up her phone screen. Get out of the way, you cunt. Oh, Jesus Christ.
everything that we are doing with our first focus is about...
Anyway, from that dinosaur to this one. Hang on.
Offensive action of our people, of our allies, of our interests in the region, and we're coordinating that with allies to make that stronger.
Do you believe this is the end of the regime in Iran that has ruled for decades?
Well, I think my focus is like Keir Starmer called for yesterday. Actually, whoever's in Iran now, he called for Iran to end this now, to cease the increasing...
This, honest to God, mate, you are fucking worthless. You are a worthless human being. What is the fucking point of you existing? Genuinely. Why? Why are you here? What, you've said nothing of any worth, any note. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. You are a hollow, nothing person. Thank you, Aran, who says, award-winning journalism, my arse. Channeling his Jim Royal there.
The indiscriminate, widespread attacks on civilian as well as military targets throughout the Middle East.
Okay, that's fair. Except, of course, that they are being targeted. Are you expecting them to just accept being bombed without any retaliation whatsoever? Because that's not how war works, is it? Like, when you fire bombs at people, they like to fire them back at you because it's a fucking war. It's not a one-sided thing, which you should have learned really last time. The Israeli people really should learn this lesson. When your country bombs a place, they can bomb you back, and they will. And you don't like it, do you? So stop. Especially given that Benjamin Netanyahu is the one making the decisions, and then as soon as bombs start flying, he fucks off to Germany. He's perfectly safe. He's not getting bombed in Berlin. You in Tel Aviv or fucking Jerusalem or wherever, you lot are fucked.
To give up its weapons programs and help return to the path of diplomacy, which in the end is the long...
They were at the negotiating table. America unilaterally broke off those talks to bomb Iran.
Runway to secure stability in that region.
Do you hope this is the end of that regime?
I'm not mourning the end of the Ayatollah.
Oh, Jesus, this is pathetic. Just say yes. We know you think that the answer is yes. You want to see the end of the regime, right? No one is remotely under the impression that you don't believe that. You're just scared to say it because you know that regime change is in of itself an illegal reason to do a war. It is not a casus belli, it is aggressive warfare. And illegal under international law. That doesn't mean that you're not breaking that international law, you just don't want to say you're breaking the international law.
Few people do. Many people in Iran are on the streets cheering. The important thing now is that Iran steps back from its increasing, uncontrolled, indiscriminate, widespread attacks in the region.
Okay, and what about them being indiscriminately attacked? Do you have anything to say to America and Israel about how they should de-escalate as well? No? Okay.
Gives up its weapons programs, and we're able to return to a diplomatic path that in the long run is the only way to settle these problems.
And you've told us very candidly that the attacks have put already British forces and some British civilians at risk in the wave of retaliation.
Well, maybe we shouldn't ally ourselves with international war criminals like Israel and America. Just a thought.
But what about the impact here at home? Can you confirm that the government is looking at the level of the security threat and what of the economy too? I mean, oil prices, of course, will be something many people might worry about this morning.
Of course, we're looking hard at both. We have stopped 20 Iranian-sponsored terror attacks in the UK in recent years. This is a regime which has allowed Russia to fire over 50,000 of its Iranian drones into Ukraine. This is a country which is murdering, a regime that has been murdering many of its own citizens, lining its own...
Okay. Apply any of that to the state of Israel, please. Just give 1% of that scrutiny to Israel and defend it for me, please. The floor is yours.
Own streets with the corpses of young protesters. This is a source of evil.
Hang on, corpses of protesters in the streets. Are we talking about America again? We're talking about ICE? No? Okay, cool.
This is a regime that cannot ever be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, and that remains our primary aim, as the Prime Minister confirmed again yesterday. That's an aim we share with allies in the region and with...
Trilateral scum. Absolute vermin, all of these people.
The US.
Okay, Defence Secretary, thanks very much indeed for coming.
Honestly, go to Switzerland.
And speak to us this morning on what's no doubt a very, very busy weekend for you in government. Thank you for your time. Well, the answers on this for the government are not easy. We'll hear a bit later.
No, they are. They actually are. They actually are easy. You could say, let's not bomb civilians. Let's not do destabilising international war crimes. It's actually quite easy to do that. I just did it.
Their Conservative rivals with the Shadow Foreign Secretary, Dame Priti Patel. But across the political spectrum, there are very different views in this country.
So Priti Patel, the one who had multiple off-the-record meetings with Israeli government ministers, therefore doing espionage, for which she was sacked from the government. She wasn't put in jail, unfortunately, even though she did do espionage, but she was sacked from the government for being a spy for Israel. But you're going to get her on to comment on this like we should take her voice seriously at all.
Reforms say the UK ought to have allowed America to use British bases to support the attacks on Iran. But the Liberal Democrats say that should never happen. And their rivals, the Greens, who just pushed Labour into...
Okay, I'm sorry, we're not going to do this in chat. Dimmu Borgir 4804, we're not going to have weird, like, anti-Semitic shite like that, please. You may not have meant it in that way. You may not have meant it in that way at all. I'm not going to impugn your motives, but Jewing up her surname to make her sound like an Israeli thingamajig, that's bad. Don't fucking do that. Okay? Don't be the anti-Semite that the right need you to be. we can oppose the actions of the American government and indeed the Israeli government. And indeed the British government or any government without steering into weird racism. Okay?
Third place in the by-election this week have condemned the US and Israel's attacks. Well, the leader of the Greens in England and Wales is with us, Zach Polansky, this morning.
Epic dub. Epic dub. Epic dub. Epic dub.
Throbbing.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Is it a good thing that the Ayatollah has been killed?
Well, I think we need to listen to Iranian voices like Rana at the beginning of your programme, who said powerfully she's been waiting for this moment her entire life. We've seen the end of a brutal, murderous dictator. At the same time, though, I heard Rana say Iran is not free, and in fact the world is no safer. I thought that was quite an astounding interview you just had with the Defence Secretary. We've seen what I would say is an illegal and unprovoked attack. In fact, Jeremy Bowen, the BBC's own international editor, said this is a war of choice. So we've got a Defence Secretary saying that diplomacy is the long runway we need, but he won't condemn Donald Trump when he attacks a country and assassinates its leader. That's the law of the jungle. That's an end to international law, and it's quite astounding that we have a Prime Minister that seems to be singularly incapable of standing up to Donald Trump and letting the UK stand on its own 2 feet. And I'm worried we're going to be pulled into another illegal war.
But if you think...
That's basically the answer I wanted him to give. I don't know that I would actually change that answer in any way whatsoever. Unironically, no notes. He's just correct.
I think these strikes were illegal and you've condemned them. What is your alternative?
Well, the alternative is to listen to the Iranian people and to make sure that we're doing everything we can to foster calm in the region, to encourage...
The Iranian regime didn't listen to its own people. It killed many of...
Interestingly, she's interrupted him more than she did the Defence Secretary talking shite throughout that entire interview. Fascinating.
Its own people who wanted a different government. So why do you think that the Iranian regime, or what's left of it this morning, would listen to Western governments when they haven't for decades?
Well, this is why we need de-escalation in the region, and we're already seeing the conflict spread even wider. I don't have an easy answer on how we make peace and diplomacy and democracy in the region, but I do know that there's no example in history where you've bombed people to democracy.
Hallelujah. Halla-fucking-lujah. You don't bomb people to democracy. You don't bomb them to freedom. You don't bomb them to being your friend. So stop bombing them. And talk to them.
Putting airstrikes for regime change has never led an example where a country is better off afterwards.
But you say that there should be negotiation, you should listen to the Iranian people. I would ask you again, what would your alternative be? Clearly, you don't like it, but Israel and America made the calculation, it seems, it's very clear. If what it took was strikes to end a repressive regime, it was worth it. So what...
Okay, so they're going to be bombing Riyadh to end that repressive regime. They're going to be bombing Jerusalem to end that repressive regime. Are they going to be bombing Dubai to end that regime? Are they going to be bombing Doha to end that repressive regime? Are they going to be bombing Kuwait City to end that regime? The idea that America stands against repressive regimes is a nonsense, given that it fundamentally upholds most of the repressive regimes on Earth. Just saying. America is not the beacon of freedom it pretends to be. It is the shining shit heap on a hill.
What would your alternative be?
Well, I don't accept the presupposition of the question. I don't think it took strikes, because actually Iran were already at the negotiating table. Under President Obama, we saw progress with Iran. Donald Trump took them to the negotiation table, but it was clear it was totally bad faith, because they literally murdered the leader at the same time they were at the negotiation table.
But that leader murdered many of his own people just weeks.
Donald Trump murdered many of his own fucking people. Keir Starmer wanted to starve to death Palestinian fucking activists. The fuck? What world are you living in? Question: You don't think kind of bombed Germany and Japan to democracy? No, not even in the slightest. Right. Don't get me wrong, I understand why bombing took place. I'm not making some sort of nuanced fucking moral argument. We're doing realpolitik here for just a second. The bombing of Japan with the nuclear bomb was a war crime. It just fucking was. America knew already that Japan was on the verge of capitulation, not because of anything that America was doing, bizarrely, but because the USSR had just broken its long-held pact of mutual non-combatants, or whatever the fuck it was, with Japan, and was invading Manchuria, which is basically northeastern China, from the north. So it was over. So they didn't need to do it. The firebombing of cities like Tokyo and Osaka and Sapporo and various other places had not brought Japan to its knees. Japan was still very much a fighting force. The bombing of those places didn't end that. The capitulation of Japan and the occupation of Japan allowed America to make democratic Japan a thing. Similarly with Germany, the bombing of German cities, whilst certainly to a certain extent foreshortening the war, didn't actually end the war, because German cities were laid waste and yet Germany continued to fight. It was the fact that the Red Army from the from the east, and the American, French, British, Canadian, Commonwealth combinations from the west pushed in and literally disarmed Germany. And in theory, denazified, although not very conclusively, but that's what actually ended it. Bombing those people didn't actually bring them around to freedom. It didn't at all. You don't bomb people to freedom. That's not to say in a war, and again, Germany did aggressive war, Japan did aggressive war, so I think it's absolutely fine to retaliate. But in warfare, bombing is sometimes necessary. But ultimately it isn't the thing that actually wins anything. Your party, that being the party of Jeremy Corbyn, Zara Sultana, not a party that you belong to necessarily, have released a statement. To Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the unprovoked attack on Iran by the United States and Israel is a war of aggression that endangers all of us. Us all. This is yet another illegal US military intervention in an oil-rich country for which there is no justification. The British government must unequivocally oppose the flagrant act of aggression and reject any use of British military facilities or resources in this potentially catastrophic war. That bit's already gone by the wayside. They're going to allow it. Iran is going to bomb the shit out of Gloucestershire in the near future, I'm sure. That includes the use of British bases such as Diego Garcia and the sharing of intelligence. The UK should call for an immediate halt to the attack on Iran and suspend all arms sales and supplies to the aggressor states. The US military attack risks spreading war across the region and beyond, with a potentially devastating loss of life and wider threat to world peace. International pressure is vital to halt the aggression now. Yep, 100% true. I can't disagree with that at all.
Ago, and if you
won't make a blind bit of difference, of course, but it is absolutely correct.
Look at the pattern of Iran over the years. Yes, there have been negotiations, but the International Nuclear Watchdog, for example, has upbraided and reprimanded Iran.
They should have, for the lols, they should have written to Prime Minister, brackets, at time of writing, close brackets, Keir Starmer, and then did the rest of it. Would have been a nice meme to add in there. I wonder why they don't ask me to write things. Interim Prime Minister, true.
And on many occasions for
Caretaker Prime Minister Keir Starmer, stop bombing Iran, you cunt. Signed, Jezza.
breaking its rules. Iran's been supporting Russia.
Signed, your former boss, Jezza, and don't fucking forget it, you little bitch.
Against Ukraine. Iran has planned plots in this country too. So what earthly evidence do you have that Iran would have said, oh, okay, actually, we'll listen to you this time?
Well, I'm here in no way to defend the Iranian regime. I'm here to defend and speak up for the Iranian people.
But the question...
Yeah, but she needs you to be like the horrible, like, Iran defender that she needs you to be for her fucking propagandistic reasons. If you oppose the fucking war in any way whatsoever, that means you must suck Ayatollah dick. Like, it's embarrassing. It's this manufacturing of consent for war is so pathetic.
Is why do you think that negotiation could have been an option here? What evidence do you have of that when it's failed for decades?
Because the moment you've ruled out negotiation, you've accepted that you're going to war. And I don't think the British people want to see another war in that region. So the question becomes, how do you make...
Manufacturing consent, because it's Kuensberg. You have to be careful how you pronounce that pun. Just saying. But, yeah.
Diplomacy and negotiation work. Now, what I know is negotiation was happening. Whether it was working or not is a legitimate question. But I don't think the answer can be, it's not working, so we're going to bomb and kill them. The answer has to be, how do we work harder to make it work, including third countries to use to de-escalate. And I've seen no evidence that the UK was really...
I mean, exactly, yeah, but they already were. Fucking Oman, was it Oman? Or UAE, one of them. Anyway, one of the fucking countries of the Gulf was the third party that was the sort of mediator between the two. Because, like, they can't be in the same room as one another. That would be crazy. What are they, adults in the room or something? No, this was student politics. Anyway, I think it was Oman. Literally, with the go-between, and was saying this was going well. Actually, they'd set up the potential for this. They got Iran literally to say for the first time ever that they would never stockpile nuclear-enriched material, which they'd never had, even under the original Iran nuclear deal, which was absolutely fine, by the way, and Trump was just annoyed that a black man signed it, and so had to get rid of it, obviously. And Joe Biden was so much of a bitch that he didn't fucking bring it back, but whatever. Either way, it was absolutely fine. You know, even under that deal, they hadn't said that. They'd made a significant concession, which was the absolute basis for ruling out that Iran would ever get a nuclear weapon. So if you were actually serious about stopping them from getting a nuclear weapon, talking to them on that basis would have been a very, very good start. But it was not about that. It's about Benjamin Netanyahu's 40-year-long lust to bomb the shit out of Iran, and Donald Trump trying to distract the American public from the fact that tomorrow they're going to release another set of documents about Epstein that's probably going to incriminate Donald Trump in an even more disgusting way than he already has been incriminated. We call this Operation Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah?
Really taking that process seriously, because part of the start of that would to be call out Donald Trump and Israel. There is only one region in that area with a nuclear weapon, and that's Israel.
But there is also only one democracy functioning in that way that is seeking to protect itself. You know, I suppose again the question is, how would you actually...
Hang on, are you talking about Israel, the country that does have nuclear weapons illegally? Okay, we're going to have to get it back. Do I still have the text? I don't. So we're going to get it back, everyone. We're doing the text again. If I can find the fucking text thing. Where is the button for that? The writing on OBS is so fucking small. I literally... There we go. Right, text. Add source. Fuck it. Albanian 0, England 2. Remember when I used to do sports-related stuff? Anyway. I keep meaning to get back to it, but I fucking never do. No, that's not right. Israel. That's problematic. Boom. Israel has nuclear weapons. There we go. Just in case anyone forgot. I think it's worth reminding everybody. There is one country in the Middle East that does have illegally stockpiled nuclear facilities, nuclear material, and that would be Israel. There you go. So I don't have to say it. I can just tap the sign now, okay? Tap, tap, tap.
make negotiation work, because it's very easy and people will understand. Lots of people might agree with you this morning. They say, just get around the table, keep negotiating. But for years and years and years, this has not changed the outcome for people living in Iran under a brutal regime.
Because they were never going to negotiate the end of a regime. They were just trying to negotiate the end of potential nuclear weaponry. Which, by the way, I don't even think Iran ever really wanted. But the point is, it's how does bombing them help in any way whatsoever? This is fucking pathetic.
It's not easy at all, and that's why it requires hard work and it requires international law. But the moment Israel allegedly bombs a school that kills 80 school children, we know that international law is not being obeyed. So the very first prerequisite is to make sure we uphold international law. Once you've begun to do that, you then have a framework in which you can negotiate. But right now, we don't even have that framework because international law is eroding before our very eyes, and that is making us all less safe. And my principal priority as a leader of a political party in the UK, and indeed hopefully the Prime Minister, is to protect people in this country and our national security.
Inevitably Prime Minister.
Security is being worsened by increasing tensions in that region. I think the number one priority has to be cool heads and calling for de-escalation and to stick to international law.
In terms, though, of what you would like to see next, what's your answer this morning?
I need to see the Prime Minister get out on TV and condemn these illegal and unprovoked strikes. I need to see the Prime Minister talk about de-escalation, and I need to see a disentanglement of this country with the military, with the US, which I think is pulling us into a more dangerous position.
How would that protect civilians in this country? How would that protect forces in bases in the region who the Defence Secretary has told us have been put in danger by Iran's strikes, by Iran's retaliation? You're not calling on them to de-escalate, you're calling for the Prime Minister to go on TV.
Well, I'm calling for everyone to de-escalate, and I...
Well, you can call... this is the thing, right? Firstly, you can call on whoever you like to de-escalate, but the only person you can realistically have any pull over would be the British Prime Minister. Like, this is such hack bullshit. They do this all the time. Well, you know, you're campaigning to save the lives of Palestinians. What about Iranians? Well, I mean, what am I asking the British government to do? Like, let's say I'm the most fucking rabid Zionist in the world. Don't clip that out of context. And I want the British government to do something or other about Iran. What am I campaigning for them to do that they're not already doing? Like, they already have been sanctioning them to fuck. Seizing their assets, freezing their bank accounts, helping America bomb them and steal their oil. What am I campaigning to get the British government to do? They're already against the Iranian regime. The reason that you would campaign for the people of Palestine is because the British government are aiding and abetting the killing of Palestinians and the taking of Palestinian land. So we're calling on the British government to not fucking do that. Like, what exactly, like, I can call for the Iranian government to do something. Why would they listen to me? I'm not an Iranian. I mean, the British government also doesn't listen to me, but that's by the by. They should, at least in theory, listen to me. So it makes sense for me to protest to try and get them to change their current policy. For fuck's sake.
I listened to the heads of MI5 and MI6, the joint intelligence chiefs, who put out a report recently who's saying the real threats to this country right now, biodiversity collapse, pandemic resilience, cybersecurity, and actually we need to be...
What a communist.
Investing in those two, not being pulled into a legal war.
The intelligence chief said there were more than 20 plots planned by the Iranians on our soil.
Yes.
And how many bombings have we literally done in Iran? How much fucking murder have we allowed or abetted in Palestine? America, Britain and Israel are some of the biggest fucking terrorists who have ever lived.
And it's right that those have been foiled, and we also need to make sure that we're investing in stopping those plots too. But that's a different question to assassinating the Iranian leader. Again, I think all of these things can be true at the same time, but they require international law and diplomacy.
But the question is what you would do instead when you have a country that acts without any care for the law and protecting its own people.
Like the United States, or Israel, or Britain.
Evidence is all there in terms of how Iran behaves when you have a country that
Oh,
also
she's talking about Iran. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
fuels terror and exports terror around its region, backing Hamas and Hezbollah. They have shown...
See, the amateurs, fucking amateurs in Iran, they're only spreading terrorism around their own region. America does it all around the world. They literally even try to tariff penguins. Checkmate, losers.
For years to be completely disinterested in negotiation or respecting international rules and regulations. So where's your evidence that they would have done in this case?
Well, my evidence is they were at the negotiating table, and I think that as a prerequisite is the most important thing. Had they not been at the negotiating table, that's a different conversation. I still wouldn't have rushed to war. But it's absolutely outrageous that they can be at the negotiating table, and then our Prime Minister puts out a statement that actually condemns Iran for a retaliatory attack, as opposed to Israel and America that started the bombing in the first place.
The controversial politician
Literally.
George Galloway backed you in the by-election that you've just successfully won in Gorton and Denton.
That's, oh my, that's, honestly, I can't even, I was so busy looking for the throbbing button, but that sleight of hand, so she's gone from talking about Iran to talking about the by-election, which, like, okay, that was always going to happen. So her introduction is not, congratulations on winning a historic by-election win, or what do you think the reasons were for that? It's noted lunatic George Galloway backed you. So what? What difference does that make?
Last year he went to Iran and received an award named after a dead Hamas leader. Were you glad to have him on your side?
I'm not here to defend George Galloway at all.
This is award-winning journalism. This is award-winning journalism. When you had Peter Mandelson on, you gave him a soft soak interview. When you had Nigel Farage on, you didn't ask him why Nazis seem to like him so much. Laura Koonsberg, my opinions of you were about as low as they ever could be. I honestly think you are a shambolic disgrace. The fact that you gave the questions to the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson before your planned interview and that was outed, and you didn't resign in disgrace and go and fly immediately to Switzerland, showed me everything I need to know about you. And yet, even by your own embarrassingly low standards, you have bottomed out here. Not only have you spent the entire show so far shilling for war crimes, you are now, in the most churlishly pathetic way possible, trying to besmirch a very successful political campaign which just elected a person to Parliament. Just because your party, and I don't mean your party because they didn't stand, I mean your party, Laura Koonsberg, as in the Tory party that you love so dearly, lost their fucking deposit. Can we get some lols in chat? Still very funny. And in fact, even if their vote had been trebled, they'd have still lost their deposit. So pathetically embarrassing, weren't they? But just because that happened doesn't mean you have to be really, really butthurt, copy bitch about it. You don't have to. You could just accept that that's how democracy works. Ooh.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
You could just accept that the voters chose differently than you wanted them to, instead of being a tragic disgrace to your profession, and indeed just a piss poor human being all round.
Were you glad to have him on your side? Because his party didn't run a candidate in the by-election. They got about 10% last time round. So were you glad to have his backing?
Well, Hannah Spencer won with...
Well, considering they won by more than 10%, did it matter? Didn't they win by like 14% or something? It wasn't even close.
with a majority of over 4,000. So I think it turns out that she did pretty well on her own. And I think that was actually largely not because of international issues. I think that's because of the Green Party's pledge to lower...
Okay, he's now doing the politics bit. I'll let him off. It was at least in part to do with international affairs. Let's not pretend that saying we oppose Gaza, those dickheads like the genocide in Gaza, wasn't, you know, a pretty significant thing. Now again, he has to do it's not just about that, we've got good policies in other areas too. Okay, he's doing the politics thing, fair enough, okay. I'll let him off. This is Democracy Manifest, I won't play it again. This is Democracy Manifest, fine, go for it. But it clearly was a very significant thing.
People's bills, protect the National Health Service and rebuild our public services. And I think that's why we just hit 200,000 new members of the Green Party as well.
Epic dub.
$200k, everyone. 200k. That is pog. It is extremely poggies. 200,000 members, which is definitely above what the Labour Party now have. Even if their fall off a cliff had been slowed slightly, they would have still been losing members over the course of the period that they stopped now revealing how many members they have. So embarrassing is that information. They've definitely passed them now. So they're the second largest by membership party in the country, and they just won a seat that Labour haven't lost since 1935. That's 90 years. It's nice, this, isn't it? It's nice having hope. I mean, it is the hope that kills you, ultimately. But I think the Strokey McStrokeface, as I'll call him from now on, Jonathan Ashworth, old Strokey McStrokeface, was wrong when he said people would rather have no hope than false hope. That's not true, is it? That's not true. Whether hope comes to pass or not, you can always say most hope that anyone has ever had has been quote-unquote false hope, because it didn't come to pass. Most people's dreams do not get achieved. Most people's best expectations do not get reached, and that's fine. You reach as far as you can get, and if you don't quite get there, you take 80% or whatever, you know? You've done pretty fucking well. So I'd rather have hope that ultimately doesn't get fulfilled than the feeling of absolute emptiness. And it was a feeling of emptiness. After the Corbyn thing was smashed, an entire generation, actually several generations of people, were despondent. They had no hope. There was no chance of anything ever getting better. Now, whether Zach Polanski or the Green Party ever achieve a damn thing, they've already achieved something. Just giving millions of people hope, giving them an option, is a beautiful thing. Even if they don't ever become the government, they don't ever fundamentally bring about a kind of fair or just society, that, you know, that alone, just that means you have had a positive impact in the world, Zach Polanski. You've brought hope to millions of people, and that's a fucking glorious thing. You should be very, very proud of yourself, and indeed all of the people involved in this, because it's not just one person, it's an entire party. It's 200,000 fucking people. That's a mass movement. That's a nationwide movement. Because you've got to bear in mind, that's 200,000 just in England and Wales. The Scottish Green Party is its own standalone thing. If you add those two together, they're right up there with the Reform Party. It's fucking glorious. So yeah, give me a bit of fucking hope. It makes life more bearable. And that in of itself is worthwhile.
I'm excited to see more people come on board.
But were you glad to have him on your side?
I don't particularly want George Galloway on my side. In fact, it's not something I would necessarily welcome. I want the Green Party to stand on its own 2 feet.
Okay, Zach Polanski, it's great to have you with us in the studio.
That's literally the question. The one question she asked about a historic by-election win was George Galloway. Laura Koonsberg.
The melt.
And on that bombshell. Yeah. Let's not end on let's not end on negativity. She's verminous, but let's put that to bed. Yeah. Why won't Corbyn join the Green Party? Well, I'm not sure he wants to. I think he does want to do his own sort of political thing. And also, I don't know that the Green Party would want him. Now, that's not to say that this is even his fault, but clearly he comes along with a significant amount of political baggage. Rightly or wrongly, and it's almost entirely wrongly, but regardless, he comes along with a lot of political baggage. Now, you start off with something of a clean slate when you have a gay Jewish man who's out here saying Israel needs to fucking stop. If you welcome in someone who has been smeared consistently by the media as an anti-Semite into that party, you lend credence and weight to the argument that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, which is a lie, but in the court of public opinion, you've got to bear in mind, it isn't a court. It isn't a law court. You don't have to conclusively prove anything. It's about people's opinions. It's the perception of reality rather than the reality. And that they have been smearing him, Jeremy Corbyn, for so long as an anti-Semite that, politically speaking, he is soiled goods. Which is very unfair. In fact, disgustingly unfair. But it is what it is. So I don't think they should accept him in. It sounds bad, and it would hurt me, I think, in a certain sense, if he tried to join and they rejected him. But I think politically it would be the wise thing to do. And I think he sort of knows that, and therefore, why not do your own thing? Because there are going to be some seats where he'll be able to challenge in a way that the Greens can't. He does have a name brand recognition and a kind of old Labour credential that Zach Polansky and the Green Party don't have. So there are going to be areas where your party is going to be more effective than the Greens. So why not have more strings to the leftist bow, so to speak? You know? Have a multifaceted approach to this. The right wing do. The right wing have got like 4 fucking parties now. With Reform, the Tories, Labour and the Lib Dems, the right wing have got it covered. So why don't we do a similar thing? It's fine. Seems like a plausible way forward. (255) asks the question: how would you feel about the Greens doing a coalition with Labour if the alternative would be a Reform minority government? Well, it couldn't be under Keir Starmer, first and foremost. There would have to be a clearing out of the Labour leadership in order for me to ever be comfortable with that. They've been doing genocide. I'm never going to be happy with them getting into bed with genocidal lunatics. It's never going to happen. But assuming Keir Starmer were to stand aside for, I don't know, fucking Ed Miliband or someone, although he's been involved in it as well, so look, would I ever be comfortable? I don't know. Basically, I'm not sure. I did miss off the Restore Party because it's not a real thing. Stop trying to make Restore a thing. It is not going to be a thing. Rupert Lowe and a small group of lunatics is not a political party. Yeah, basically, I don't think I'd be very comfortable with them joining with the Labour Party at all.
The return of the sausages.
My favourite cake to fart on is a Black Forest Gatto. What's yours? Answers in Kevin's Discord, the stream channel.
No. Thank you for the bits, but just no. Whatever happened to Andrew Tate's party? I don't know. Can you become Prime Minister from a Romanian jail? I'm not sure. The Brov Party, yeah. Do you see the one Restore candidate getting interviewed? They said the 14 words. Did they actually? Link in the suggestion thing for the Discord. I'm not going to watch it now, but I'm just going to... I'm going to get to bed. Because it's 20 to midnight. So... Anyway. Who's going on? Oh my god, we have 230 viewers. Jesus Christ. Hello, No Justice viewers. I am the replacement bus service. We have come to the end of the line for tonight. You will have to get off. You will have to alight from this service and fucking walk the rest of the way, you lazy cunts. You got fucking feet. Right. I'll send you over to Left of the Box on YouTube. Go and say hello to them. Who's going on Twitch? That I can send everyone over. Well, Hassan's going, but I don't think with his 53.4 thousand viewers he really needs my assistance. So I'll look elsewhere. Reiki. Okay, we'll go over to Reiki. Who is good? Good cheese? Is that a thing? I don't know. And I'll be back. I probably won't be on tomorrow. I was going to be on with... Dr. Christy Winters to do a happy hour tomorrow, but unfortunately because of television, Birmingham City Football Club will be playing at home to Middlesbrough tomorrow, so I'll bring some butter, which is a callback to an old meme. Anyway, yeah, we're playing Middlesbrough at home tomorrow, so I'll be attending that game. So unless I stream very early or extraordinarily late, which is unlikely in both cases, I think, I probably won't be on tomorrow. And then I'll be on Tuesday with Dr. Christy Winters to do a happy hour, which we'll be watching the part of the Candice Owens having a go at Erica Kirk mockumentary thing that she did. So that'll be abysmal, I'm sure. Please join us for that. Everyone go and say hello to Reiki, who is obviously talking about Iran, because everyone's talking about Iran, because that's a thing. And I will see you all... probably not tomorrow, but Tuesday. Yeah. Free Palestine, free Iran, free everywhere. Free your mind. No pass around.